certain, and we're sure that you're going to be blessed by all that goes forward tonight. My co-host is
Bishop Stephanie B. Green, pastor of the Joshua Baptist Cathedral in Huntington, New York, Green Lawn section, and the co-host of this great radio station, the Bishop's Roundtable. Bishop, it's good to be back on the radio today.
We missed you last week. I'm so delighted that you're feeling better. I understand that you've been under the weather.
Much better.
All of our listening audience was praying for you last week, Bishop.
I'm grateful.
Praying for rapid recovery and that you would be back in the studio tonight. And indeed you are. God answers prayer.
To God be the glory. I feel great. I feel much better. Glad to be here. And so excited about our program on tonight. We've got some good people in the studio with us, have some great things going on, and just glad to be here. I want to remind the listening audience that we're on the radio. I want you to get the phone, call somebody, tell them to give us a call at 631-888-8811. Tell them to go on the web and listen to us, www.am1240wgbb.com. It is the Bishop's Roundtable with myself, Bishop Stephanie B. Green, and Bishop Andy C. Luther.
Thank you so very much for being here tonight, and we certainly welcome you to the program tonight. And the information that you're giving is not only informational, it is also inspiring. Some of the comments that you've given to us tonight causes me to recall last week we had Nathan King as our guest. He's recently re-elected to the school board in Amityville, and he was talking to us about some of the challenges that the public school system is having in general in achieving excellence. Now, I want to kind of couple that because for the better part of today, I have been watching on ESPN the Scripps National Spelling Bee, which was brought to our attention with a movie that starred Lawrence Fishburne this past year. But what caught my attention in this semifinal round, the top 25 spellers in the country represented almost every ethnicity and community other than our own.
Wow.
And I want to ask you, what is it that is keeping us from the kind of excellence that is showcased in an arena and in a forum like a national spelling bee, where the quote-unquote smartest kids rise to the top? Why is there such an awkward absence of members of our community on that level of excellence and performance?
That's an interesting question. You know, I have to come back to the family.
All right.
The family plays such a significant role in the lives of young people, and you know, unfortunately, you know, I've seen a breakdown in the family, and I think what happens is that, and as a parent myself, I think that we need to become much more invested in the lives of our children.
Sure.
You know, in terms of spending that quality time. You know, Long Island is for many parents, it's a tough place to live because of the way the economy is. And what often happens is that we have parents, and I love them to death. You know, what happens is that they're out there working 2 and 3 jobs. You know, and the problem though is that the time is not being spent. I'm serious, but the time is not being spent. And you know, when you don't spend that time, you know, with your child, then you're going to see, you know, the rippling effect.
Thank you, Brother Perkins.
All right. Thank you. That was an awesome answer. I didn't know how you were going to answer that question with the route the Bishop took on it, but it naturally brought me into my next question, because I was one of the ones who defended the parents who take up time with their children, and had come to a couple of meetings, not even just yours, but within our community, and everyone was pointing the finger and putting the blame on the parent and saying things. Teachers even were saying, we spend more time with your children than you do. And when I really did the average, you're with my kid 30 minutes of class. That's it. I would say, well, have you seen my daughter? I saw her the other day in the hallway. And so you're really not at all times spending more time with the children than we are. But you made an awesome comment. We also have to learn how to manage our time and to make sure that we include time for our kids as well. I want you, Mr. Perkins, help us to understand what the parents can do, because you just sort of told us it's a time factor. But I really want to say single parents, what they can do more so, because you don't get a lot of time if you have to work 2 and 3 jobs. So what can you do to show your kid that you're very interested, show your kid that you mean to raise, I don't want to use the word supernatural, but you just want to raise an awesome kid. But in the meanwhile, BET is actually raising your kid, MTV is raising your kid, reality shows, Baldwin Hills and Flavor Flav and them are providing role models for us. And what can we do? I mean, we take the cell phones, we cut the TVs off. What do we do?
Sure. I think that one of the things is that we, when I say time, and I'm serious about that we turn off BET and we sit down and start communicating. We really need to, as parents, understand what our children, what their assets are, what their deficits are. And so we spend that time talking about what their needs are. In particular, we need to have an understanding of who their kids are.
Right.
And that's important, because what happens is that when we don't spend time with our kids, somebody else is.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
Because we talk about we talk about the gang situation. Okay, it's because in terms of having that vacuum, but so the bottom line is that being able to go out. I don't care if it's McDonald's, the local diner, going to miniature golf,
Sure.
and something else. You know what?
I'm a professional mini golfer.
The other thing is that I certainly believe in terms of those faith-based programs that's in the community. We have to take our kids to Sunday school.
We have to take them.
And you know what? And go with them. I'm
with
serious
them.
about that.
You're right.
You're right. So I mean, there's a variety of things that we can do, but certainly stay